Hello, Dr. Salah. This is Ayman. My question is, by watching Love Inside Me, how long it takes to transcend being attached to the shapes combined with it, people or things? What the best practices to raise awareness beyond ego attachment to the loved object or subject? How can I truly, easily, and safely transcend to the cosmic love? Is it by more love or more detachment? Thank you.
Hello, Ayman. It's rarely this or that. It's usually this and that. So, is it to really transcend to something deep? Should we do this or that? I have done hundreds of experiments. I am obsessed by doing experiments all the time. I do this every week. I have a lab at home and I do many experiments with vibrations, using sound effects, using all kinds of measurements, and I do many things. And after a long time of experiments, I found out that the secret always relies on the combination. It's never one thing. You know, if there is anything that I would say that works really perfectly in the universe, then I would say vibrations. But even vibrations really don't work alone. You gotta use it with something. You know, like for example, if there is a high vibration in somewhere, and people have a bad intention, actually, that vibration might be against them. People ask, what if the Bosnian pyramids were that great and have that huge effect and energy, then why did Bosnia have this war? Or if you're saying that the pyramids are so great, well, the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, then why Egypt goes through turmoil sometimes and trouble? And well, it's the energy is good, but it's who's using it. Or Sri Lanka, for example. You know, I don't know how anybody could be poor in Sri Lanka. That's not possible. This is not possible. That's why the Arabs called it Serendip, which means serendipity. You know, if you go there, things happen. You know, things happen for your benefit. But you know, you could see poor people there. You could see struggle. So people who go to Mecca, you know, Mecca has got a huge energy there, a huge positive energy. Yet, you know, you might see some people having fights in Mecca and going out of. So why is this happening in Mecca? Well, it's sometimes the intention does not. So it's always a combination. Do I use water and good food, or do I use just a good intention and a relax? Well, it's both. It's more than both. It's all, right? There's a guy at the time of the Prophet who, by the name of Abu Darda, very religious guy, he's worshipping guy and so on. So Salman, which was a wise person at that time, we call him Salman the Persian because originally he comes from Persia. And so when he went to Abu Darda at his house, he couldn't find him, so he asked his wife where he was, and he said, and then he asked her how is he doing and stuff. She said he's good, you know, he's praying all night and he's fasting all day. So Salman understood that this was a complaint. This was not telling that he was good. If he's praying all night and fasting all day, what about the family? What about the poor wife here? So as he's going on the way, he met with him and he said, oh, but I just want to tell you something. You know, God gets something, but also your family gets something. And then Abu Darda just went so angry. How can you say this? No, nothing is equal to God and stuff, you know. This is the idea of many religious people today. It's like they don't see the idea. They don't see that God is not in comparison with anybody. So they always put God in comparison. It's like they have this, it's a complexity. And, you know, you tell them, listen to music, this is nice. Why Why listen to the Quran? That's nice, So, why are you comparing the Quran with the music? It's just like they always have some kind of comparison. This is the mind of the ego. Anyway, so Salman said, well, please, that's not what I meant, But I'll tell you what, let's go to the Prophet. So they went to the Prophet and they said to the Prophet, okay, I told Abu Darda that, God gets something, but also your family gets something. Then the Prophet looked at Abu Darda and he said, Salman is true. Salman is right. There is time for your worship. There is time for your family. There is time for your body. And there is time for yourself. This is what we call the four circles. Stephen Covey put this in his book, where he said this is the point of happiness, where you actually give spirituality, you give the psychological side or the emotion side, you give the physical side, and you give the social side. So who is a happy person is a person who does all these, not one. You can be very spiritual but physically sick and very poor, or you can be very healthy and sporty but depressed. They're all not good. They're not serving you good. So it's always and, not or. So is it more love or more detachment? No, it's both. It's love, detachment, self-respect, seeing the self with the others also. It's all put together that forms the formula. Find your own formula. And it's never one thing that works for all. You see, when I started reading about health and I got really mad about what the FDA is doing to the world, and what the pharma companies are doing to the world today, and how they use their influence to keep diseases there. And the more I read, the more I get angry. And then I stopped getting angry and I said, they're just making their living, like everybody else trying to make a living. Everybody else is trying to keep living. Even cancer cells are trying to be, even germs are trying to make a living. So, everybody's entitled to live. Just they don't have to live in my body, but they can live anywhere else, So you respect everybody that's trying to make a living, then you make your own decision that not to be under this pendulum, okay? That's your decision. So then I started reading, and there are so many claims. Is it the vitamin B17 that actually really, when the body is losing it or does not have it, then cancer cells starts forming? And then you hear so many stories of people who took vitamin B17 and, they're really, actually there isn't anything that exists called B17, but I mean, this is what we call it, okay? But those people who took this natural stuff from the fruits, got better. Or is it maybe the black seed, okay? And the black seed oil that actually, there's 100 stories of people who took the black seed. Or is it this or that, and so many on the internet? Actually, they're all right for some certain people. So some people, when they really take vitamin B17, it will work perfectly and magically with them. But with others, it won't work. But if they took the black seeds oil, now that will work. Or if they take the hemp oil, that will work for them. Or if they take some. So you gotta find your own formula, which works for you. That's the same thing also, not just physically, but emotionally. So there isn't a one formula for everybody. That's why we give a lot of information. You form your own match and combination, which gives you the secret only for you, okay? That's a very good question, Ayman. I know I've went somewhere else, but I think you've opened many good answers. Thank you.